again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, but you could call me Grizzer, and this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news and the tidbits that are tied to our favorite team in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. And then we give you our take, or some people like to call it our opinion, on the news as the show moves along. Thank you to everyone who has liked our previous episodes, to all of you who get your comments down there in the viewer comment section, and also a huge thank you to all of you who have subscribed to the channel. In case you haven't noticed, it is a fit change day. We made it to 13,000 subscribers, and as we always do, we change the fit. We give the orange quarter zip a rest, and we are giving the quarter zip a rest today, and we changed up the fit, and we are representing all things Cleveland. Of course, this is Browns Latest. So we have our Browns. We had to bring back the winter Browns. It is like -4 degrees in Cleveland, and it has been for like a week, and it's going to be like for the next week. So we had to bring I almost wore the scarf too, but we held off on the scarf. But we needed at least a winter hat because it's -4. Got the old school Cavs as they're getting ready to make their playoff push. We got the old school Cavs look, and then this is probably the most important one of all. We've got here, let me turn around and show you. Here. We've got the Manny Ramirez jersey because he just signed an extension with the Guardians that will keep him in Cleveland the rest of his career. And yes, they are already talking about what the statue will look like. And LeBron and Lindor could have learned something from Jose Ramirez, because he is a Guardian for life. He said he is 50% Dominican, 50% Clevelander. We love him. We love him here in Cleveland, and I love the fact that we were able to get to 13,000 subscribers. I cannot thank you enough, and so we changed up the fit and I wanted to go all things Cleveland because the times are a-changing, and it's starting with our Cleveland Browns. The transition to a real NFL offense continues to take shape. Okay, we're representing Jose today, but when Manny Ramirez played baseball here in Cleveland, we had a saying when he would do crazy things on the field, we'd say, well, that's just Manny being Manny. Well, when it comes to the Browns off season, I think now we have to start saying it's just Miles being Miles, or do we? The prediction pen, this is rare air. When you have the fit change, we're celebrating 13,000 subscribers. On a day we have a prediction pen. And I can already tell you that I'm going to start burning up in this hat, so the hat may not make it. But the prediction pen we have every Saturday. And we always give the prediction pen. It's going to help us sort out the new coach and some other things. And we're going to find out some things about the upcoming season now that we have a new coach in just a few minutes. But we always give the prediction pen one warm-up question. Because it is Saturday. I don't know. The prediction could have gone out last night and been partying. Who knows? But let's give it a warm-up question. And it's the same question every time. And it's, prediction pen, will this be a good fit change show? It's unclear. Got to ask again. Will this be a good fit change show, prediction pen? Dude, no way. Okay, well, so there you go. At least you know. If you need to peace out, go ahead. Head for the exits. Save yourself the aggravation, I guess. Thanks, prediction pen. We're off to a great start with the prediction pen. But the prediction pen will return momentarily. And then down in the viewer comments, I have an off-the-wall way we can settle the Jim Schwartz situation. But first things first, let's talk about the transition. This staff, the offensive staff, is starting to take shape. Travis Switzer. Remember, I thought T. Martin was a possibility coming over from Baltimore. Instead, it's Travis Switzer who comes in to be Monken's offensive coordinator. He was the Ravens' run game coordinator for the past 3 years. Been with Monken that whole time. So when Monken came back to Baltimore, Switzer started in Baltimore. But Switzer's been with Baltimore since 2017. Various roles. He was a wide receiver. He's helped with the wide receivers, the tight ends, the run game. So he knows all the facets of the offense. And then under his coordination, the Ravens had strong rushing attacks. Of course, number one in 2024. Number two And I mean, one and two, they're top 5 running game all the time. So we're bringing in, Monken is expected to still call the plays. So he did that, in Baltimore, and he also did it in Tampa Bay. There was some question about that. I wondered if he brought somebody over from Baltimore that he could trust, if he would turn play calls over to them. Not the case. Monken is still, that doesn't mean it won't change, but at the moment, Monken is going to call the plays. Of course, George Warhop brought in literally within hours after Monken, because he knows what the biggest problem on the offense was last year. It really was. And then a close second were the wide receivers, but the offensive line. And then Danny Breyer has been requested. He's an assistant over with Baltimore that's been focused on working with the tight ends, but Monken wants to try to get him to come over here and be our pass game coordinator. Now, this is big because not just because he's getting together his offensive staff relatively quickly. That helps. But it's who he's bringing in. He's bringing in people that, A, he's comfortable with, B, come from the Baltimore Ravens that he knows really well, C, they're in the division. Let's go back to B. What I like that he's poaching, not only is he weakening the Baltimore Ravens staff, but here's the thing. Under Harbaugh and everything that Baltimore, it pains me to say it, but that organization is a winning organization. And we need to develop a winning pedigree here. And what does it mean to have a winning pedigree? It means consistent performance at the highest level. It's the breeding of success that creates an aura of expectation and mental toughness. It influences everything from our expectations, all the way to like player recruitment. You're going to see these free agents when the league window opens in March. You're going to see all these free agents. They're going to be looking to come to Cleveland and play for Monken, especially if you're on the offensive side of the ball. And that's why I keep bringing up guys like Lindenbaugh and Likely, Baltimore's free agents. They had success with Monken the last 3 years. Why wouldn't they come over here? But it's about that pedigree that they bring as well. They understand. They know what it takes to win consistently in the NFL. And we have that now. You can't put a price on that. And if you can't beat them, join them, right? And so over the years, we've had trouble. Well, we it's kind of 50-50 with Baltimore. But you take what they have, you make it part of your own, and then you build around that as well. So what he is doing, I love what Monken is doing on the offensive side of the ball, and I'm sure he's not done poaching Baltimore coaches and players as well, but I love where this is going. Now, something I don't love where it's going is this whole Myles Garrett thing. And we're just call this Myles being Myles, I guess. But I don't like it. Of course, a couple days ago, I didn't have time to get to it the other day. And plus, I was so annoyed by this. I almost didn't want to give it, any thought. But we got to talk about this because this is a problem. And he put that Instagram story, that picture up here. I got it. He put that. It looks like a. This was not long after Monken was announced as the new head coach, and Schwartz had a little bit of a temper tantrum at the facility because obviously it seems like he was upset that Schwartz didn't get the job, but he puts this picture up of a tired-looking worker hunched over a bench outside a restaurant. No caption, no nothing, just put that up there. So everybody starts speculating. Is it a sign of frustration and disappointment from Myles, in the way the coaching search was handled? Or is it because Schwartz was it? It's hard to say search and Schwartz in the same sentence, just as you just found out. But is it because, I'm sure he was unhappy that Schwartz didn't get the job, but it's like, he just set the NFL single season sack record with Schwartz. Schwartz has gotten everything he can out of him. And some of the other guys too on the defensive side of the ball having their best careers. But here's the thing: why Myles, you can't do this, man. You're the face of the franchise, man. Like you're the, you're one of the highest paid players in the league, and when you post something ambiguous like this, like what is it, and you leave it for everybody else to interpret it, it just fuels rumors of discontent and potentially trade demands resurfacing and locker room tension. Like, is that what's going to happen now? Is he going to head to the Super Bowl and start complaining about Cleveland again, like he did last year? Again, this is why I say in the offseason, is this going to be Miles being Miles every offseason? We get to the offseason and he starts complaining about Cleveland and the organization, because you can't have that. You cannot have that from the face of your franchise, and of course, this is what happened last year when he went to Radio Row and he was crabbing and moaning and so all it does is create locker room tension, and the public cryptic posts undermine team unity. So now, this is a super young team and this is the guy everybody looks to, Myles Garrett, right? So posting your vague memes with no context, you know what that does? Creates uncertainty. It distracts from the preparation. It's unnecessary noise. Now the younger players or their teammates, they're uncertain about the organization's direction. If Miles isn't on board, then why should we be on board? This is not about silencing his opinions. What he needs to do is go directly to Barry, go to the facility, or call him and say, "Look, man, I just want to let you know I'm not happy." Like, grow up, Buttercup. Like, come on. What are you doing, Miles? Like, you gotta think before you do this stuff, man. And then, like we just mentioned, man, there's a pattern here, man. Miles being Miles, man. These recurring social media hints, they just suggest he's frustrated, And so true leaders channel their disagreement into accountability and motivation, not passive-aggressive signals that allow the media to blow it up into something that it may not be. But he keeps doing this, and he better stay off Radio Row this week at the Super Bowl. Somebody better shut that down right away. So I'm like, I'm all ready. And I talked to some Browns fans last night, and this is another thing. Like, Schwartz's little thing backfired on him. This is backfired on Myles Garrett, man, because people are like, can we trade him? Can we possibly trade him? Well, it's unlikely because of the contract. A pre-June 1st trade would trigger over $41 million in dead money for 2026. Post-June one would, you could spread it out, just like we've been talking about with the Watson deal. So it doesn't help much, 15 and 25. Plus, he has a no-trade clause. He didn't have that before. The new contract, he has a no-trade clause. This is why I said when he was crabbing last year, I would have traded him. Because look now. Look at him now. I mean, he's an elite leader, man. He needs to use direct communication. He can't be, or just go to the general manager, man. That's all we're, just keep it behind closed doors, man. People don't need it. But these guys with the social media. And so the fact that he has this no trade clause now, he has all this control over the contract, and it's gonna be so hard to trade that contract, and that's why I said last year, just trade him. If you don't want to be here, trade him. I'd have traded him to the Giants. I'd have traded him to the Jets, and then let's see what happens when Miles doesn't show up in a playoff game if he's playing for the Giants or the Jets in New York. See what happens there. They will destroy you. But God. Everybody, you want to love Miles, but, when he does stuff like this, man, like the new coach just got here. And now he's got to deal with it. He's got the Schwartz thing going on, and now he's got this. It's just, if you're the team leader, man, you can't be doing this stuff. You just can't. It's very disappointing, and I'm telling you, if he gets on Radio Row again this week, because everybody's going to want to talk to him because he set the record, and he's going to be there. So I better hear nothing but niceties coming from him about the Browns and the organization. And they're going to all ask him about the picture. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed or something. But I don't know, man. He's got to get it together. He has got to, if he wants to be the team leader, because, man, I could admit, if it wasn't for that contract, I would be trading him right now. Because, who's to say, now that he's got the record and he's got his money, Who's to say? Maybe now he's mad about the head coach decision. Is he going to try as hard as he has in the past? How about that? Speculate about that. Is he going to play hurt? Is he going to, all the same concerns that I had last year when he gave us no leverage. That's right. He screwed himself last year when he went out publicly and complained about Cleveland because he gave us no leverage. We weren't going to be able to trade him because everybody knows he wanted out because we were going to get a first round or 2 first-round picks for him then because he wants out. So what do you, no leverage. We had no leverage. And so here we go again, man. Even if they wanted to trade him. So I know the Bears have come up. There's been some teams that come up, they think they're one defensive player away from getting to the next level. But that contract, man, that is going to be hard to unload. But Miles just needs to – he better be doing damage control this entire week at the Super Bowl. That's what I think he needs to do. So, come on, Miles. Got to be better than that. All right, prediction pen time. All right, we do this every week. And so how about a bonus prediction? I didn't have bonus prediction pen question. I just thought about this. Let's find out what the prediction pen thinks. If Miles is going to behave on Radio Row at the Super Bowl. Here we go. Ready? Oh, prediction pen. Will Myles Garrett have nothing but nice things to say about Cleveland and the Browns organization this week during the Super Bowl? No brainer. Okay, well, there you go. Things are already looking up thanks to the prediction pen. Perfect. Okay, now, how about this prediction pen? Will Myles Garrett, because we got to make sure he's going to still be motivated and want to play, right? So will Myles Garrett break the single season sack record this season that he just set last season? Dude, no way. Okay, so... Yep, he's not setting the record. So if you want to bet the no, if you got, the prediction markets or whatever. Okay, now let's talk about Jim Schwartz. Oh, prediction pen. There's a lot of concern now. Everybody's wondering, will Jim Schwartz be back as defensive coordinator since he got upset that he was not named head coach? So, prediction pen. Will Jim Schwartz be the defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns in 2026? Dude, no way. Prediction pen says Schwartz is out. All right. Let's talk about the offense now. Prediction pen. Wow. I wonder who we should ask him. We might have, if it's not settled by next week, we're going to have to go down the list of defensive coordinators that are on our list and see if who makes the short list. Okay. Offense now. Will the hiring of Todd Monken as head coach of the Cleveland Browns propel the team to a top 5 offense next season? Unclear, ask again. That's usually a good sign. Will the hiring of Todd Monken as head coach propel the Browns into a top 5 offense next season? Unclear again, a double unclear. We don't get many of those. Will the hiring of Todd Monken propel the Browns into a top 5 offense? Dude, no way. Top 3. All right. I like what you're thinking there, prediction pen. He said not top 5. So he must mean we're going to be top 3 offense. All right. I like where you're going with that one, prediction pen. All right. Let's talk about Shedeur. Everybody saw the video yesterday. And I told you, Monken been trying to get him when he was at Georgia, tried to get him when he was in Baltimore. Now he finally got him. First thing out of his mouth is tried to draft you last year. So the connection is there. Like we've been telling you, man. We've been telling you this for weeks. All right, here we go. Will Shedeur Sanders become a top 5 passer under the tutelage of Todd Monken? Dude, no way. He's going to be a top 3 passer too. So we're going to have a top 3 offense and a top 3 passer. I love it, prediction pen. I love where you're going with this prediction. See, prediction pen, just because the answer is no doesn't mean it's a bad answer. I just so you know. So it depends on how you look at it. All right, here we go. This is going to be the last question for the prediction pen on this super cold Saturday in Cleveland. This is a celebration day. Remember, we are celebrating 13,000 subscribers, prediction pen, so you better get this one right. Will the Cleveland Browns go from worst to first in the AFC North in 2026? Without a doubt, that's what I'm talking about. I see the prediction pen knows. Bet the Brownies to win the AFC North. That's where I'm going. As soon as the show is over, heading right to the app. I'm going to put the mortgage on him. I don't know about that, but I'm telling you, man, it's all setting up this way, man. It is what Monken is already doing. We are winning the division next year. We will be in the playoffs, and then let's see what happens. Look at New England this year. I mean, come on, anything is. But look at Seattle. Who had this Super Bowl? Other than that picture that the NFL put out, who had this Super Bowl? So, all right, now one thing that's always in the Super Bowl are the viewer comments, and we will start today. And this is what we teased at the top. This is going to set up my offbeat way of handling the Jim Schwartz situation. Maybe this would make Myles Garrett happy. But we start with Zeroyce008, who says, you can't keep Schwartz. He's not with your new coach. Just get a new DC, which is not hard. Would be easier if Jim Schwartz wasn't under contract. He's under contract. So complicates things a little bit. But did you know? I feel like I'm back on the old days of ESPN. Did you know that we could trade Jim Schwartz? You can trade coordinators just like you do head coaches. And here is the breakdown. You can trade a defensive coordinator in the NFL. If the current team agrees to release the coach's rights in exchange for compensation, typically draft picks, sometimes cash, the acquiring team then negotiates a new contract with the coach. All parties, including the coach, must agree, as coaches aren't obligated to accept the move like players often are. So, you're thinking, well, this sounds like a pretty good idea. Now, it's extremely rare. I don't think it's even been done. So we could be one of the first. But look at the compensation head coaches get. Sean Payton, when he went from the Saints to the Broncos in 2023, it was for a first and second round pick. John Gruden, when he went from the Raiders to the Buccaneers in 2002, was another trade. And then Bill Belichick went from the Jets to the Patriots. So Sean Payton, and I use that because that's the most current one. In 2023, Sean Payton got a first and second round pick for the Saints. Jim Schwartz, elite defense, coveted defensive coordinator. I'm not saying first round pick, but, you know, their team's still out there hunting, looking around for a DC. I'm Andrew Berry, man. I might be making that call. If he's that unhappy, and then maybe you can even ask Schwartz. Be like, all right, where would you want to go? We'll see if we can trade you. And, I mean, if you got a second or a third round pick for Schwartz, does that seem like a bad deal? You're not getting a first round pick. I don't see, there's no universe where you're going to get a first round pick for a defensive coordinator. I don't care how good the defense is. But I would say a second or a third round pick is 100% in the cards. Potentially maybe one of each. I would do that in a heartbeat. I would get Raheem Morris on the phone first. Make sure he's lined up to come in and then trade Schwartz for a second and or third round pick. It'd be nice to get a second and a third. But, or even a fourth, a second and a fourth. You can find linemen in the fourth round. But we can trade Jim Schwartz and settle this once and for all. If cooler heads don't prevail and it doesn't play out, we can always trade them. Great question, great take, Zeroyce. Appreciate it. All right, Gail M. 8462 says, I think the coach really likes and respects Shedeur, unlike the former coach Stefanski. Sure seems like it. I mean, he's only tried to get him. Like the third time was the charm, like we talked about yesterday. And that video, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I mean, that video, come on. But no, you're right. It's going to be so nice to have a coach aligned with the quarterback. And then, of course, the offensive line. All of that. The whole offensive side of the ball is going to look completely different for the better. Yad Boy Entertainment 7951 says, let's go. Glad 12 got a coach that likes him. Yep, I agree. Finding your 40. Just saw the ESPN meeting between Shedeur and Monken. It makes you smile. You're right. Finding your 40. That is for sure, man. It's just nice to see quarterback, like, you know, on on the same page with the head coach. It's gonna speak volumes. That video, man, it was something to see. It really was nice to see. And some people say he talked more to Shador on that video than Stefanski did the whole time he was here. And I'm like, he's not really wrong. Eric McGee -84Y. Cleveland is the best fans in the country, but we are so damaged. Positive vibes, y'all. Yeah, that's what I mean. All of the positive vibes, the winning pedigree, all of it. Like this is as much psychological as it is what happens on the field. We got to get that positive push behind the team, and we will end today our 13,000 subscribers celebration representing all things Cleveland with Neil Robeson 8702, and this cracked me up. He said, can't wait when we're rocking and rolling. I can't wait for all of the Monkin songs, like Brass Monkin, that funky Monkin, Brass Monkin, Shock the Monkin, hey, hey. And then how about, hey, hey, we're the Monkins. And people say we monking around. Oh my gosh, I was rolling because here in Cleveland, when the Browns were the team we remember, like all those songs, and I've talked about Burn It, like all the songs that would play on the radio, man. Like you are so right, Neil. Like this is gonna be the possibilities are endless with that. Last name, and of course Shador too, because you could already feel like anything. I mean, I do the Shadors when we're not in the studio, and so like there's gonna be tons of fun with the songs when the Browns go worst to first, like the prediction pen said. We are going worst to first next year, and we will be back in the playoffs, and all of the songs will be playing. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on our 13,000 subscriber Fit Change show. Representing Manny Ramirez, the Cavs, and of course our Brownies, because this is Brown's latest, and it's -4 degrees outside. So you got to have winter hat on when it's -4, whether you're in the studio or not. I tell you, man, it is nippy in Cleveland, and it has been, but that's okay. We love it. We love the cold weather. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for 13,000 subscribers and joining us here on our little show each and every day. All right, that's gonna do it for today. Thank you so much. I can't stop saying thank you. I don't want it to end. I can't stop thanking you guys enough for jumping in here and watching our show. All right, go Browns. We'll see you next time.